Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and the dogs and the attitudes. And yeah, wow, just wow. There's a sticker, the old sticker. I have new ones. You want a new sticker? Wow. I mean, just wow. It is incredibly warm. Hey, good morning. Good Friday morning there, everybody. Hey, look at my gear. Harley Davidson. Do I look like the Harley Davidson guy today or what? And shouldn't I? If you're watching my channel, and hey, as always, thanks for tuning to my channel, watching my morning conversations as I go blah, 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 talk about this, talk about that. And once again, why is warm? I would think I was in Florida right now. It's humid. It's humid. It's warm. I mean, it's like 70 degrees out. Look at all the snow. Snow? What are you talking about? There ain't no snow. Look at all the tennis balls laying around the property, my property. This dog, his Kiefer dog, all he wants to do is chew on something. Come on, stay around here. He just wants to chew on something all the time. Look at him. Look. I have it's just like a, look at all the balls. Ah, my gosh. And he destroys them. And so then I give him a new one so he doesn't actually eat it. People are like, that dog's going to die. Well, I don't let him eat them. He just destroys it. Then he gets another new one. That's pricey. With me buying all these tennis balls, that's pricey. So, wow, what an adventurous day yesterday. If you're watching my channel, and I think to myself, how do I keep the content going? The silliness, the craziness, the addictions, the challenges. I know. And so on Monday was the bankruptcy conversation. Tuesday was the wealth conversations. Wednesday was the coffee conversations, and today I thought we could talk about the price conversations. And yesterday was about the Harley conversations because of the big reveal from the Wednesday. So Friday I thought it'd be a great conversation, which we haven't talked about, is price. And come here, puppies. And if you think about it, wow, his price. About the most appropriate thing we could talk about where we are today. The shop is soaked because it's just so humid out. It's so much moisture, and it just eats up these Harley chromed out bikes. If you don't wipe them down, it just starts to pit the heck out of the chrome and everything. But man, wow. I mean, I'm just blown away on how warm it is. Actually, it's cool here in the shop. So the shop really still hasn't warmed up to the same temperature as everywhere. Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Hey, Keith, where's your ball? Come on, get up here. Come on, go. Where's Ginger? Ginger! Where's the Ginger dog? Ginger, baby! Okay, come on, Ginger. Now leave her alone. Kiefer, leave her alone. Kiefer, you get up. Come on, get up. Come on, let's go. Stop, leave her alone. Kiefer! It's always, the domination. Yeah, right? They never. Hey! Yeah. All right, so it's always lights, camera, action. You getting seasick yet? And so and the reason I thought of price is because a lot of people on my channel that are watching the videos of the new Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO ST I just bought, which that's just incredible how that all played out. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, was I fixated on that thing? No, by no means. Was I fixated on wanting to buy another Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO? Look at this here. See this? See, the bike's just soaked. But I don't take the time to get a towel and wipe this thing down. I mean, it's truly going to just ruin these surfaces. So you can just kind of wipe it down to get all that moisture off there. And see there, so it's kind of cleaned it all up. But if you don't do that, and that's one thing you're better off, I say it before, is you buy the blacked out. Not to say you can't get some stuff going on, but the blacked out stuff doesn't seem to show it as much as the chrome does as we walk around here in the conversations. And I'm sure a lot of people that watch my channel well, here's the thing. The price conversation came up because people are like, how much did you pay for the bike? How much is the bike? So even if you watched my video yesterday, and for anybody who watched my channel on a morning basis but don't really watch in the afternoon, you need to catch up and see the Harley Davidson Adventures Day yesterday, where I went out and bought a brand new 2024 Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO ST, the Raven color, black. They call it Raven to be creative for the CVO. Distinguishes it from the vivid black. Is the vivid black actually a different color from the Raven? I'd only hope so, but who knows? I have no idea. Haven't had those back to back. But the whole thing here is the price. Even the driver that delivered the motorcycles yesterday, he thought that the CVO Road Glide would be probably a $60,000 bike. And many other people think the same thing. Yeah, well, in some ways it is. But it's $42,999, and plus then they get you on the shipping and setup and prep. So it's all said and done. Tax and tags, you're at $47,000. Yeah, but it's about the same as this, in all sincereness. When I bought this bike here up from Eisenhower Harley, this was like $42,999, and then your tax and tags. And they don't do the setup and freight. But this thing came in, I think, like at 45 or 46, something like that, within reason. And the dealers always try to get that setup and freight, back end stuff to help them make their profits, which I get all that. But the whole point of that is, it's the price. And for Harley Davidson, they have lowered their prices. That's what's so incredible. And so we got to go to the trailer because I haven't told anybody what I'm doing. And in so many ways, it's embarrassing. It is, because for me, I'm such the motorhead enthusiast, and I just really love all my cars and trucks. But then at the same time, I can part with them. So even though I get attached to them, I don't. That's the irony. I think that sometimes bums some people out because I just love cars and trucks and motorcycles. But I always know there's something bigger and better for another day. And that's why I just never keep anything forever, because I just always want something different and new. And that's just who my personality is. Challenging. And thank God it's only in the cars, trucks, and motorcycles and not in women, because I have friends and people I know that have challenges when it comes to women and want a new flair, a new style, every now and then, which that can get really expensive, more expensive than my addictions, especially if you have to pay. I'm trying to figure out where I put my coffee. See if is my coffee going to be stable right here? It is. Look at that. See that? See my nice coffee cup there? But here's the thing. So I haven't told anybody what's going on, what I'm going to give up. I think most people probably know. If people watch my channel, they're probably like, I know what this guy's going to probably part with. And here's the story. This is what's really incredible. This morning when I woke up, I thought to myself, it's pretty incredible how this is a total reversal from now 7 years ago, where in 2017, I bought a brand new Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO. So I was buying basically a new CVO every year from about 2012. 2012 model, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I even have the tags in my garage to show how I had all these just about every model year. At one point, I had the CVO Limited and the CVO Street Glide. So I was really into all the CVO products with Harley. And in 2017, I bought a brand new CVO Dark Earth. I'll show you a picture of it later. And that was such a cool bike. And it really was. But I was never a Road Glide guy. So I wasn't really accustomed to the way you sat on that bike. And that bike was like jinxed because I dropped that bike in a parking lot that when it was brand new, I came off the kickstand and I was going up a very steep grade. And I made a huge mistake of taking the bike and letting out the clutch and going kind of to the left, and the bike stalled, and then the bike started going to the right, and as it's falling down with all my might, I'm grabbing the handlebar, and I'm grabbing the other handlebar and trying to hold the bike up as it's going down, and it literally ends up destroying my shoulder, and it tears my right bicep. I mean, just really bad. And I barely could drive the bike home. It was that bad. That's how much I injured myself. I had to have a guy help me pick the bike back up. But the bike didn't get scratched. So the bike was a brand new bike, but I just didn't want to see the bike get damaged. I should let the bike just fall over and get the bike repaired, if you know what I mean. So the whole point of that is I had just a constant thing with that bike where I dropped that bike. And I was just like, what? So I dropped that bike like 3 different times. And I just isn't who I am when I ride motorcycles. And it just was like, it was so aggravating. And that's a heavy bike. These Road Glide bikes are very heavy motorcycles. In fact, what we'll do, we'll go over here and we'll look at the other Road Glide that I have, because it is really the same bike that I had, but just in a different color. And so you probably think, well, what's this got to do with price? Well, it's about how in 2017, that CVO, I believe, was like $38,999 or $39,999. Now, today's CVOs are basically like $44,999 or $43,999. And I was having a discussion yesterday with Chris out there at the Skyline Harley, and I didn't think that the Harley Davidson per se CVO products are less money this year. He's saying they are. I was like, I don't know, because the regular Road Glide, regular CVO, I mean the non-CVO products. Like, here's more. Look at all the balls. It's like a landmine. Look, you see how many tennis balls I've bought? They're everywhere. What do you think's going to happen when I start cutting grass? Besides, if you're nearby me, you're going to have a tennis ball whacking the side of the head. So, anyways, here we are with another trailer. So here it is. So this was basically my 2018. I bought it in the fall. Bought it in September of 2017. But it was an 18 model. But mine was the Dark Earth. And it had the orange stripes. And so if you look at this bike, if you look at the handlebars, and how these handlebars are like squeezed in. And just, the bike is a heavy bike. That's one thing about Harley Davidson, is these bikes are like lead sleds. They're just heavy motorcycles. So see here, what's so cool with me having these bikes in the trailer is there's no moisture because it's off the ground. And that's what's so cool about a trailer. If anybody out there wants to store your bike, the better place is in a trailer. I just had that breakout in these trailers right now, just to save the, just to save it. So, back over here to this trailer. So I got this trailer for a reason, because there's something sitting in there that I have to give up, which is that going to be? But anyways, it's incredible how in 2017, I bought a really cool Harley Davidson CVO Road Glide. Really loved that motorcycle. I loved that new 117 motor. But yet in 2019, November, I ended up buying an Indian Challenger. There's an Indian Challenger that is not the model, but I bought one of the first Indian Challengers, first model year out, 2020, and it was that bronze, metallic, smoke, whatever you call it. So many motorcycles, so many different colors. So that motorcycle, in so many ways, made me part with my CVO Road Glide. And I told my wife, in all fairness, because I bought a brand new Indian Roadmaster Dark Horse. So September 2019 was my first actual purchase. 2019, September was my first actual purchase of an Indian motorcycle ever. And it was the new design Roadmaster Dark Horse. Looks like a Harley Davidson tour bike with an Indian badge on it. And loved the bike, great bike. That got me going to the Indian brand. That started pushing me away from Harley. And then in November, I got one of the first Challenger Dark Horses, and then that even pressed me further away from Harley. But I told the wife that I would get rid of something for that bike. So I put it up for sale. Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO in the market, and I was wanting like $38,000 for the motorcycle. We even put it down at the Motorcycles of Dulles dealership. And so when I was, we left it down there for about a month, no bites. I advertised it. Long story short, I ended up having let that bike go for like 31 or 32 grand, if I remember right. And a gentleman up in Delaware, I drove the bike to the guy in Delaware, like in December or January of 2020, to buy the bike. And the bike only had like 1,800 miles on it. And it was very kind of, in so many ways, heartbreaking to let it go, because I paid, $40,000+ for the bike, and a guy was getting a brand new motorcycle for like $31,000 or $32,000. And this is now in 2020 or late 2019. So now we come full circle, and here's the thing. For me, I just felt like, wow, and this is pre-pandemic. Only, if you're really following the pandemic times, only had I kept that bike through 2021, I probably could have sold that bike for $38,000 or $40,000, because the whole pandemic thing screwed up the whole motorcycle market, and all the used bikes got very became very much more sought after, and so I would have made out a lot more money, but who has the foresight to know about that of a major pandemic? So here we are, 7 years later, and here I've got an Indian motorcycle that is such a cool motorcycle, a very rare motorcycle, and what's going on? Yeah, what's going on is I'm finally parting with this motorcycle, even though in so many ways I think it's a mistake, but in so many other ways, I don't know what it is. Why is not this motorcycle only have like 600 miles on it, 700 miles on it? It's interesting. I've left this door open, and now everything's starting to kind of. Let's see if we can actually power this thing on. Does it power on? And who's looking for me now? So this thing has 656 miles on it. So wow, I mean, this bike now is close to 2 years old. So I bought it in the summer of June 2022. So 2022, 2023, and now we're into 2024. So for me, on this, it's kind of, ironic that here I am now trading an Indian Elite, the rare Challenger motorcycle that has a special theme to it. It's all a theme. The motorcycle doesn't have any more power. Only thing it has is electronic suspension over the other Indian Challengers. And here I am now giving up this motorcycle for really little. I mean, it's pitiful. It's embarrassing to even say how much this bike is getting traded in for. It's beyond believable. It's beyond unbelievable what my selling dealer, so much in a way, it was just a total insult, of offered me just to buy the bike without me buying the bike from him. Because if you're watching my channel, I was going to trade this in. That's what I was going to do. I was going to trade this bike in for a Tiger, but I just came to closure that that's not the right decision, and I'm glad I didn't do that. I'd be so disappointed had I done that, being that the new Harley Davidson CVO ST came out, and I mean, I just think that bike, I mean, a lot of people actually are picking up the energy on my channel, because a lot of people are like, man, you just seem really excited about that motorcycle. I do, because it really reminds me so much of my first Road Glide motorcycle that I bought in the fall of 2017, September, I should say. And it was a really cool bike. And I always kind of regretted selling that motorcycle because it was just had such a cool theme, good looking bike. And the bike was just really badass as you go down the road. And so in so many ways, this new ST kind of brings back that excitement of me having that type of bike. And now Harley, I think, has done a little better job. It's done a better job on suspension. It's dropped a lot of weight. And I like the handlebars a lot better. I like the more straight out handlebars than those handlebars that are like a nutcracker that you bring in like a, they're not curved in. So your body posture is so much better now on these Road Glides. And I like the Road Glide fixed fairing because of just that. It's a fixed fairing. You don't get pushed around in the winds with your steering. So it's the price conversation. So back then, I took a hell of a hit to buy a CVO that I let go, which was a $10,000 hit in loss on a motorcycle that, well, I guess you could say I had it for 2 years. So it wasn't like I had it only for a year or so. But the irony is that Challenger, in so many ways, was the better price vehicle over the Harley product. And that's what kind of started driving me to the Indian product, was the price. Not only that the bike was nice, but I felt like you got so much more of a motorcycle out of the Indian product than you did out of the Harley product, and it was just a better match. And so then truly, if you really watch my channel, you'll see so many videos of me in so many ways making fun of Harley and being critical of Harley and really pushing the Indian product more than the Harley all day long. And I really would have said 2 years ago, would I really be back more into Harley and Indian? I would have said, no way. I can't see that happening because I think Indian's got a great product. And that new Indian Challenger is a great product. But if you're watching my channel, you've seen, sadly, on how I bought an Indian Pursuit, and that wasn't such a great product. And so now, my kid, she got involved in motorcycle riding. With her kind of influence, she's kind of pushed me back into the Harley brand product. But at the same time, I think Harley has done a really good job of bringing fun to the motorcycles. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the fun. So when you buy something, it's all about the price, but does the price satisfy the fun factor, the satisfaction? And that's the challenge. And that's what the challenge with that Challenger has been. I've loved that bike so much, and I've had people offer me good money for it, but I never could let it go, which is in some ways a mistake. But in other ways, I don't know about that, because that bike is financed with Freedom Road, which now Skyline Harley has Freedom Road Financial, and that's a note where we basically flipped a note for a note by giving that motorcycle up for the new Harley Davidson CVO Road Glide ST. So in that sense, it's a win, because had I sold the Challenger a while back, I'm sure I would have bought something else in place of it, and I'm not so sure the deal would work with me giving up a bike for that CVO. And some people are like, well, why don't you trade the Harley Davidson CVO Road Glide, which I don't disagree, because if you just looked at my trailer, I have a CVO Road Glide 2021, lava colored. I have a 2023 CVO Platinum Silver. Okay, here it is, that I just bought last August, and now I have a CVO ST 2024. But the problem is, this is so new, and I traded two bikes that we took some negative equity and put into this bike, because I just had bought some new bikes and a used bike, and so this thing, value of this for what's owed on it is too big. It's too big a separation. I'd have to write a $10,000 check in my world just to get out of this bike to make it make sense in a new bike. Or I'd write a $5,000 check and Harley would buy the negative equity in a new bike, but then I would be into a brand new CVO for probably $55,000, which I'm just not real excited about that. And the payment, and then Harley Davidson Financial, they're just not the nicest when it comes to the interest rates. Freedom Road treats me very well. I got a 9.99% finance rate on a 60-month loan on that CVO ST I just bought, versus if I went to Harley Davidson Financial, they'd be quoting me 19, 20, 24%. It's ridiculous. So that won't work. This will have to be used at some point another day down the road. I'll just have to continue to pay on it and see how things play out down the road. But the price of that motorcycle from now, Harley Davidson, bringing out all these new bikes that are less, that's a challenge now. That's a huge challenge. In fact, yesterday, if you're watching my video, I don't think we caught the conversation or not, but if you watched my video this morning, I was saying that anybody who's out there buying a brand new Harley Davidson Street Glide or Road Glide Special, if they bought it in 2022, 2023, 2021, whatever it may be, and you were out the door for 35 grand on that bike, here's what I asked Chris yesterday. And I even said it. So in one sentence, he said it's worth 15 grand. Wow. Maybe 17, maybe 18, maybe. But the whole point is the new pricing on these Harley Davidson motorcycles has been lowered. So a Street Glide Special, which I talked about yesterday, in my view, a Street Glide Special is $6 grand more for 2023 than a 2024 Street Glide motorcycle, because you can't get, it's just, you can add accessories, you can start to build it to be your own, but it's not like per se you can get different variations of the Street Glide or the Road Glide packages. So $25,999 is the base price without you adding on options to it. So, but the motor is the same, 117, suspension, the infotainment, the seats, everything's the same. So for the price of anybody out there who has a Harley Davidson right now that wants to trade a bagger bike for a bagger bike, it's going to probably be pretty hard. It's going to probably be like how I feel on my Indian Challenge out here that I'm giving up, and that CVO 2018 Dark Horse I gave up, on how you're taking a huge hit to be able to get something for the latest greatest. And I'm sure some people will just have no choice but to sit in the sidelines. I even asked Chris that, but Chris brought up a good point. And Chris said, well, it's proportional. He said, if a Street Glide Special now is $6 grand less than what it used to be, and your bike's worth $6 grand less, what's the difference? So if your Street Glide Special is worth 22 21, 23, whatever it was, and now it's worth 15, 16, 17. He's like, it's just kind of and I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. And that's something, but for the person that owns a motorcycle that spent 35 grand on it to be told it's worth 15 to 17 grand, you're going to be disgruntled. You're just not going to be able to overcome that. Well, the bike's now $25,999 instead of $31,999 plus this and that and that and that. So here's the point for me. How much did they give me for my freaking Indian Challenger? What do you think they paid me for it? It's beyond believable. That bike there, and here you go. So you go out and buy that brand new Indian Challenger Elite, and it's going to be about a $38,000 motorcycle. It'll be like $36,999, 37 grand. Well, I just told you, the Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO ST is $42,999. So there's a good $5,000, $6,000 spread in the price of those two motorcycles, and which is the better bike? And I can guarantee you that the Indian guys, the people that own Indians and ride the Indians, are tell you the Indian Challenger is the better bike. And in so many ways, I won't disagree. But on the other end of it, that CVO Road Glide ST is such a unique package, and I don't think that's going to be a dime a dozen bike. Now, who knows? I mean, I didn't think that would be a dime a dozen built bike. So who the hell knows? It could be, they could mass produce the thing. I have no idea. But I know it's a really cool looking bike. I have high expectations that it'll be a very fun bike. And I got really excited. That's the most excited I've gotten recently, besides like my Honda Goldwing or my Triumph. In so many ways, that's the most excited I've been here recently. I'm looking at motorcycles, so I could not get excited about those adventure bikes. Even though the Pan Am America CVO is pretty cool, I think it is. And pretty badass, but am I going to be up for the calisthenics to own that motorcycle? And that's what it is. It's calisthenics getting off and on that motorcycle. It's like, wow, unbelievable. You know what's incredible? My kid left out this morning, gets to go to the gym. I'm just now realizing the Ram 2500 truck isn't home. Duh. I walk out the door. What else is missing, right? Are the Challenger and the Charger over there? Yeah, I think they are. Wow. If the sun would come out, this would be so cool. It'd be a great video for me today. If the sun would come out and dry up these roads, I got to pull this trailer out of its parking spot, and I got to pull it up here into the gravel, and then I got to get this surface to be dry, hopefully, and I got to get that bike out, and then I got to either ride it up there or trailer it in a different trailer. Excuse me. It'd be so much more fun to ride my Indian Challenger to the dealership in Winchester and then ride home my brand new CVO ST. As long as the roads are dry, I'll do it. If they're not, there's no way I'm getting brine all over my brand new bike. But it'd be such a great experience because I can honestly ride one motorcycle and then jump off into another motorcycle. And I can sincerely be able to tell people in my video, hey, this is really cool. This Indian Challenger, badass bike, love the bike, great bike, incredible bike. But wow, I just got on a brand new CVO ST. This thing is so cool. It is so fun. Do I regret the purchase? I don't. Or, wow, this doesn't feel much different than my CVO that I have, right? Road Glide. And the suspension doesn't really feel any different. The motor doesn't feel any different. The exhaust doesn't feel any different, even though I upgraded the mufflers. So how does that play out? The seating posture, the shorter floorboard. So once again, does that, so I might think, oh man, I really blew it. So do I tell you? And here's the thing. I could probably arrange a deal with the Harley Davidson dealership to say, tell you what, give me 1 week to sell my Indian Challenger on my own. You can display this Harley Davidson ST. Nobody can sit on it. Nobody can ride it. And give me a chance to sell my Challenger for more money so I don't feel like I took a beating. Because I had people offer me $30,000 cash last summer for that bike, and I wouldn't do it. I was wanting 36. Then I was wanting 33. So I called my selling dealer where I had a deal done on a Tiger, and supposedly he's just playing with numbers. He's going to pay me 26 grand for the Challenger, which, but it's here's the competition. Here's the price thing. A brand new Indian Challenger is $31,999, but now they have rebates. They're discounted. So for a selling dealer, they're probably gonna let one go for 28 to 29 grand. That's the reality. If you really shopped the dealers, you could probably get one for 29 and change, maybe an aggressive dealer 28 and change. And so how the heck are you going to be able to give a guy, Iceman, 26 grand, 28 grand for a bike that's 2 years old now, and you're competing for a new customer that can get the exact same bike? Only difference is a different paint theme, and it just doesn't have an electronic suspension. That's the only thing that separates them. So for me, I called my selling dealer, Motorcycles of Dallas, John, and I tell him, hey man, the tire thing just isn't going to work. He's totally bummed. And so after that whole conversation of him wanting me to buy it, but I'm just not going to be able to do it, I said, well, what would you do on buying my bike outright? He's like, I really don't want your bike. And I'd be an insult to tell you what I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, well, what? He said, I'll pay you 22 grand for it. I'm like, wow. So the Harley dealer is going to pay me $23,000. Wow. Did that hurt? And yeah, do I put the bike in the marketplace and try to sell it and then wait for another CVO ST to come in? Yeah, wow. So once again, anybody on my channel, what do you want to pay me for it? Anybody out there that's an Indian enthusiast, do I throw the bike out there in the market for $28,999, $27,999 and try to get the money out of it and give it 7 days and tell Chris out there at Skyline Harley to just sit on my bike, and if I can't sell it, then we'll just finalize the deal and you have a nice display of art there in your showroom. That's a possibility, but I've done this so many times on selling things of my own. And it turns into to beat the crap out of you, because anybody hears that the dealer's going to pay me 23, the guy says, so I'll pay you 23.5. It's a waste of time. I'm like, I'll pay you 24. Waste of time. I'm not going to sit around and wait for a guy to get his money rounded up, get out here. And if he lives locally here, sure, 24 grand, come get it. Can't see it. So that's where a challenge comes in. I've just done it too many times. And once again, once a person hears, well, the dealer's paying you 23, so I'll just give you 24, you should be happy. Yeah, well, where's 24 grand? When are you going to be here? But then they got to pay off the note. So the money has to go to the bank for the note to be cleared on that bike that still has a note on it. Until it's cleared, the deal doesn't go down. So it delays. So a lot of variables there. So it just comes into the point, oh, well, it's another thing that you buy, and you take a beating, and it's worth half. Is it worth half? I mean, is that where we are in today's society? The price of things? And that's the whole thing. Where we are in today's society, price. What has been the main conversation for the last 3 years? 3 years of price. That everything has gotten so much more expensive. But yet here is Harley Davidson. This is what you got to think about. Why is Harley Davidson lowering his prices? What is going on? Does Harley Davidson see the painting on the wall? Does Harley Davidson see that they're going to have to become much more aggressive to compete against Indian? I mean, what are the Indian dealers going to do? I think too. My good friend told me, I said, well, here's the thing. Give me some good money on my bike, and one day down the road, I'm sure I'll be back for the latest, greatest 2025 Indian. And he's like, that ain't going to happen. And I'm like, really? He's like, now here's, in some ways, I guess he would say confidential information. But I mean, it's just hearsay. And he's saying there's nothing there. There's nothing for 2025. There's nothing there. So Indian's not doing anything. So wow, think that through. Indian now, if you go price shop motorcycles, you're going to pay more money for Indian now. Before, the running joke was the Harleys are too expensive. If you want to go buy a bagger Harley, it's too much money. Now keep in mind, I won't disagree, if you're going to go buy an Indian Challenger Elite versus the CVO Road Glide, yeah, as long as the dealership is marking the product up, you're going to get a better bang for your buck and the money on that. But if you're looking for an Indian Challenger Dark Horse that's competing against the Road Glide 117, then I would have to say you're possibly $5 grand. If the Indian dealers are going to discount them, so you're probably $3 grand, $3 to $5 grand difference in price. But what does it do to the whole used market of motorcycles? Because the guy that doesn't want to trade his motorcycle for a Harley, it's just like my Indian. I'd have to honestly say right now that the only way this Harley dealer is getting numbers, and this is the thing I've talked about to my channel many times, Harley dealers can't sell non-branded products. So this motorcycle is just going to be given to him for some wholesale guy to pick it up and then for him to go sell it. And he'll probably get, if he has the right resources, he'll probably get 28, 29. It may go to auction. So all he can do is go off the auction prices. I would be very concerned if anybody has a motorcycle right now that's wanting to trade it in, that if you have these auction prices start to prevail here in the next month with this lower Harley Davidson pricing, I think you're going to get killed. I think you're going to be like, whoa, my $35,000 Harley just went across the auction at 15 grand. And then that's what the dealer's going to tell you. You're going to get killed. And the point of this is, if you're not buying a new Harley Davidson motorcycle and you're going to an off-brand, different brand, or you're just not buying our motorcycle, I think you're going to get destroyed. I could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. Don't, not to be the doom or gloomer, but what Harley Davidson has just done, it's huge. On it, they've now trying to catapult the dominance of the market again to their favor by having a more affordable motorcycle. And that's what's interesting. A lot of people watch my channel, they're all kind of going, all thinking these bikes are more expensive. It's like, no, they're actually less expensive. It's just the CVOs that always have been very expensive. Hey, the sun is coming out. It's pretty exciting. My friend Chris, he wants to go ride too. So we may have some riding time and have some great video time to get out there to Winchester and go to Skyline and get my new bike. Meanwhile, somebody's reached out to my channel and said, hey, man, I want that Challenger, and please don't let it go, and I can get you money ASAP, and give me a respectable number to make it worth my time. I mean, even 24 grand, it's not really even worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, I honestly think somebody have to give me, for me to feel right about it, I think I'd have to have like 26 grand. Just to go through the stall and then waiting for a person to get here, get the money. I don't know. It's debatable. I have to think that through. But anyways, the price, what is that in the pricing? Look at Tesla. Tesla's stock right now is kind of taking some hits because Elon Musk is really forewarning that the market's going to be much more aggressive in the cheaper cars, the cheaper electric vehicles are on our doorstep. Elon Musk now is saying, in like 2025 or 2026, the big brand new manufacturing plant that he's going to have all up and going, he's going to have a sub $30,000 electric vehicle coming to the market. So Elon Musk is getting very aggressive. So are we going to see a reverse trend here in the near future? Is 2024 going to be more about the price trend to go down versus all we've witnessed is everything's gone up? Is it have we hit the wall and everything's just start being adjusted in pricing? I think it is. At some point, it has to go the opposite direction. I mean, just how long can it continue up and up and up and up? It wasn't that was the whole idea for the rates to be raised. But here's the thing: the economy grew at 3.1% last year. So that's a huge. And I'm sure people argue that, but I'm gonna tell you where I live. I mean, I just don't see that. I just ain't seeing the dire straits, man. I know I live in the rich ass area, but I'm not hearing one person reach out to my channel telling me that they're witnessing the dire straits of people like you've never ever seen. And the first thing is, one of my subscribers weighed in and said, if you're a Canadian, you're witnessing all these illegals coming into Canada, and these families and people are being given money, they're being given housing, and their government is taking very good care of them. One guy made a comment in my YouTube channel from buying that expensive motorcycle is people are starving. I said, yeah, thank your government for that. I said the illegals are taken better care of than our own citizens of our country. There's homeless people out there. There's people in dire straits, and the illegals are getting more handouts and better treatment than the citizens of our own country. Just be unbelievable. I mean, sincerely, are we living in the weirdest times you've ever witnessed? I mean, come on. We are living in the weirdest times of our life to look around and to see the price that people pay for things and for the ideology and for the arguments. And I mean, and to think what's right versus wrong. I mean, it's just beyond believable. It's just, that's why you go get a motorcycle. You know why? You get a motorcycle, just separate yourself from this stuff. Just to escape what is going on. It's just beyond believable. All right, kid's looking for me. So, I don't know what's going on there. That's not good, right? So anyways, hey everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate all the support. And yeah, you just heard the down and dirty. It's just, it's the worst. It's just really, yeah. But, it's the give and take in life. That's what it's all about. So if you want something, you got to pay for it, right? You have to pay for happiness. I guess that's what it is. So, once again, God bless, stay safe, and stay tuned for the riding adventures of the continued Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO ST as it comes to closure.